Dear Diary, may the energy from this week bring many blessings to the weeks coming after. Welcome back to another week of my Creatives Audio and Visual Diary. You ever have a week where it feels like the filler scenes in a movie where everything is going right? That basically describes this week. This week, I'm fresh off of Dreamville, like literally a couple of days, and Maurice had to turn around and go on a business trip Wednesday of this week, which is today in this video. And I promised Leila that when Maurice went out of town that me and her can do a dinner. And she's been like begging to go to the melting pot. So I'm like, okay, we'll do the melting pot the first night he's out of town. I also let her stay home this day because she said she had a field trip and it was cold outside and she didn't want to go. So I let her stay home and have a little self-care day, and we got dressed and headed out to dinner. But later this week, I found out that the field trip was actually Thursday, not Wednesday. She had her days mixed up, or so I thought. Anytime we're going out, especially if it's not for anything specific, we always say that we're celebrating something. Always. So we put down a championship. We were trying to manifest her winning a championship in this league or tournament that was coming up this weekend. So we did a little bit of manifesting, maybe a little white lion, but it don't hurt nobody. It's just a couple of extra marshmallows and a couple of extra brownies. That's it. But on the flip side, I was so happy to bring her because one of the first birthday dinners Maurice took me out to for my birthday was at the melting pot, and he hated the experience. He was like, I don't want to go back there no more. I don't like to have to cook my own food, and there's not enough food, and da 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 da. So he vowed to not come back. So when Leila expressed interest in going, I was like, absolutely. I'm trying to get back there. I enjoyed my experience. I love me a little fondue cheese and dip and cook my meats, and it kind of controls how much I eat. It's perfect for me. I feel like a big fat because I have a bunch of food in front of me, but I'm actually pacing myself. It's a good experience. Moving into Thursday, and I'm really feeling the effects of Maurice not being in town anymore. From the dumbest stuff though, when me and Leila was on our way up to Melting Pot, something was going on with the car, and I'm like, oh my God, of course this is happening as soon as Maurice leaves. And then we get home, and there's a freaking moth flying around, a huge one, and we're like, oh my goodness, why do you choose to fly in when he's not here? So obviously I miss him for a myriad of reasons. So on this evening, I decided to start to prep a dinner, a special welcome back dinner, or I guess it would be lunch for him. Sometimes when I'm searching for inspiration for what to cook, I'll go to see, of course, go check what's on sale first. And pork chops was on sale. And I was like, wow, I can make a really sentimental meal out of that. We first started dating. The first meal I cooked him was chicken Alfredo. Well, it wasn't really for him. I cooked it for me for dinner, and he was coming over that evening, so he also had some. But the second thing I cooked, which was totally for him, it was smothered pork chops and sweet potatoes and a veggie I can't remember. I remember at the time I was 19, still living with my mom. So I cooked it in her kitchen, and I drove it over to his place, and I sat with him and we were having dinner together, and he so enjoyed it. He so appreciated it. It was such a great surprise. It's funny because smothered pork chops is the first thing I ever cooked for anybody outside of my home. We were having a cultural food day that my chemistry teacher made up for just to have a potluck with, I guess, black food. It came out of nowhere, but it was a cultural food day, so everybody had to bring in the food from their culture or whatever. And I was deciding to experiment. I'm a student of Food Network. I've always loved to cook. I've always watched cooking shows and such. So I kind of knew what I wanted to do. So I made some smothered pork chops, brought them in, and when I tell you that everybody was calling me the smothered pork chop girl from that day on, that was my nickname. All the teachers would be like, yo, we need to throw something else so you can bring that back in. It was a thing, and it was a thing that I was so proud of. So it was only natural that the thing that I actually cooked for him for the first time, I wanted to get that reaction out of him. I wanted to get that great response that I got from school, and I got it. I was satisfied. And the crazier thing is, I didn't know when I made the sweet potatoes that sweet potatoes is actually his favorite food. And my mom's and my grandmom's recipe for sweet potatoes is legendary. Everybody loves them immediately. And it was passed down to me, so I knew how to make them too. So when I brought them over and he ate them, and he was like, yo, these are the best sweet potatoes I've ever had. And that's a lot to say because they are my favorite food. I was so taken aback because I'm like, thank you, Lord. Like, you got me directly to his stomach, then to his heart immediately. You knew how to move my hand in that kitchen to get this goal accomplished. I know for sure from that day on, I signed a contract, an invisible contract to be this man's personal cook for the rest of my life. And I'm really okay with that because not only is it fun to just cook because I love cooking, but it's fun to see him open up his palate. Like, I'll try to challenge him with new ingredients that he claims he doesn't like, and I'll cook it in, specific ways or different ways to get him to like see it in a different light. And like, he started to eat so many new things that years ago it would have been an absolute no, like absolutely not. Like beans, for instance. Like, I'll make them with some chicken sausage and throw some veggies in there, and like he'd be tearing bowls of beans up. The outfit that I just opened, I actually got it to surprise him with it for Dreamville, and it came super late. So I was like, okay, he still doesn't know about it, so let me just sit it out for him. When he comes in, he could be surprised by that because I know he loves himself a good black fit. Now back to the pork chops. I was honestly just looking for a way to play with this apple butter today. Initially, I was like, okay, maybe I can put it in the pie or something like that. But I'm like, when I go to put the gravy and the pork chops in the oven, that apple butter is going to add a flavor to that gravy and sauce once it caramelizes a little bit in the oven. It's going to be divine. Like, it's going to be real subtle. Pork and apples go together really well, so those flavors are going to be like really singing in your mouth. But I was like, I think that's what I'm going to do. So I did it. The flavor of the gravy was already popping before I even put it in the oven. So that's how I already knew this is about to be a level 10. This is about to be a perf dish. With food, you also have to set the mood. For our 10-year anniversary, marital anniversary, I made this custom album. I went on this website, selected songs, uploaded the songs, and they made us an album. And I was able to make the album cover art, and it was so cute. I put a bunch of our pictures on there. Anyway, as I was trying to turn this album on, who walks in? I was so caught off guard because I had my phone on ring so Life 360 can tell me when he was arriving at home. That didn't happen, but nonetheless, I'm so happy to see him. My real goal was to have everything hot and ready and on the counter by the time he walked in, but my timing was a little off. Not extremely, but a little. I didn't have the pork chops out of the oven yet, but he did walk in time for me to be pulling the pie out. So that was a good presentation. He got to see the pie land, and being the sweet potato connoisseur that he is, he was obviously entertained by the landing. I was so happy with the way that everything was turning out this afternoon. Not that I was fearful that it wasn't going to work out. Part of me when I cook always has a tiny bit of fear that the dish might fail or something may go wrong. That's just a little bit of cooking trauma. Like, for instance, when you're making smothered pork chops. You go and fry these pork chops with this crispy skin, and then you sit it in gravy, pour more gravy on top, and you throw it into the oven. And the expectation is that that skin is still going to be crispy because it's going to somehow heat up in the oven with all the liquids around it and be crispy, right? In my head, in theory, I'm like, that should not work. So every time I'm halfway through making some other pork chops, I'm like, oh, I made this beautiful skin and it's not going to work. It always works somehow, some way. It's so weird. After that very heavy welcome back lunch, Maurice reunited with Leila after school, and then we went in and kind of chilled out for the rest of the evening. It was rainy, kind of like nasty outside, but it was the perfect night to chill. This was the first tournament weekend for Leila's AAU team, and we were all obviously super excited. Something that has been disappointing me about these tournaments is, and this is obviously the first one with the AAU team, but Leila plays in tournaments all the time, when teams or organizations put older kids into younger brackets to be, to easily dominate them. And it's just so weird. Like, I hate that happens. That happened twice on the first day of this tournament. Both teams we played were significantly bigger, and like, you could tell that they were older. And it's just a shame that people do that because it makes it unfair. And it's like, we put our teams in with integrity to, play in competition we think is even filled, or even filled, I guess. But it doesn't be, and it's just really annoying. So after the first day of the tournament, Leila decided that she wanted Chipotle. I guess that's just her comfort food. And Maurice and I decided that we didn't want anything that we could order, like we wanted to go home and cook. So when we went to the market and I saw this sausage patty that had like broccoli rabe and provolone in it, I was like, that might be an interesting sandwich. I know Maurice wanted a burger, so we grabbed him a burger patty. But I was like, I think this sausage patty can be something, like, and be something really good. When I got home and took inventory of what greens we had in the house, I said, okay, we can do a side of bok choy, some sweet potato fries. I had some leftover arugula. I believe it was arugula. Or was it arugula? I don't know. It might have been arugula microgreens. So I was like, I have leftover shrimp from Melting Pot that was already cooked. I can make me a little slaw to go on top of my sausage sandwich, and it can be kind of like a surf and turf sandwich. And this may single handedly be the best foodie decision I've made all year. Seriously. Day two of the tournament, and our girls went up against the actual fifth grade team, and it really showed. Like, they were in fifth grade actually, and it was a great game. It was back and forth. Our girls did end up winning, even though it was kind of like a free game because they didn't make the championship game. They didn't have the records to make it. And then later that day, we met up with Maurice at practice because he couldn't come to the game. He had practice that morning, and we had a family day for the rest of the day. We had Soul Food Sunday. We reviewed footage. We just kind of chilled out and hung out. I appreciate weeks like this where I can harvest all the fun that I've been waiting to pick. Because next week, we are getting in the field, baby. We got some work to do and some vibes to bring to life. I cannot wait to show y'all what I'm putting my hands on next week. Until next time, diary.